Humans are a great race to be if you are an alliance. They have one ability, which is every man for themselves. It's racial, instant, 2-minute cooldown. Removes all movement and pairing effects and all effects which cause loss of control of your character. This effect shares a cooldown with other similar effects. So if you're in a tight situation and you're on a PvP realm, that is very helpful. They're in the Eastern Kingdom. They start out in Northshire Valley, which is close to Stormwind City. So humans are a good overall class, and I think people use them a lot. I see dwarves as a very underlooked race. They have one racial instant 2-minute cooldown ability called Stone Form. Removes all poison, disease, and your bleed effects, and increases your armor by 10% for 8 seconds. That is extremely useful if you are in a tight situation or on a PvP realm fighting a horde. They start out in Cold Ridge Valley in Eastern Kingdoms near Ironforge. They're great for rogues and great for hunters, and I think this is a very underlooked race. Night Elves are the race to be, some people say. They look awesome, they're great race. Their passive ability is Shadow Meld, racial instant 2-minute cooldown. Activate to slip into the shadows, reducing the chance for enemies to detect your presence. Lasts until cancelled or upon moving. Any threat is restored versus enemies still in combat upon cancellation of this effect. So yeah, they start out on a little island which is close to Kalimdor, and they start in Teldrassil in Shadowglen. So yeah, this is a good race. Gnomes are a good race. They're small, as you can see. I think they're a little underlooked, but not a lot, because I see a lot of people with second tunes as gnomes. They have one passive ability, which is engineering specialization. It's increased by 15, their engineering skill. They start out in the same place that the dwarf does, in Cold Ridge Valley over by Stormwind, and that is their hometown too, and their start place is located in the Eastern Kingdoms, and yeah, gnomes are the good race. Draenei is an awesome race. I really do think a lot of people do like Draenei. Their passive ability is Gift of the Naru, but I think it's only for Pally because I don't have a Draenei tune on my account. It's racial, 40-yard range, instant, 3-minute cooldown. Heals the target of 50 damage over 15 sec. The amount healed is increased based on the caster's spell power or attack power, whichever is higher. They also have a specialization in gem cutting. Jew crafting is increased by 5. They also have a heroic presence, increases the chance to hit with all spells and attacks by 1% for you and all party members within 30 yards. So they start in Ammon Vale, which is located over by Kalimdor too. Yeah, and Draenei's are just really good for Pallies too. I really love the Draenei race. Alright, starting off with the Horde is the Orc. The Orc is another good race to be if you are a Horde, although you don't see, I don't really see a lot around. Their passive ability depends on which class you're going to be. Like if you're a Death Knight, you have Battle Shout, or a Warrior, you have Battle Shout. If you're a warlock, say you have blood fury. So it really just depends. You'll just have to see for yourself. It depends what class you're gonna be. Orcs start out in Kalimdor, Durotar on the Barrens. They start out in the Valley of Trials, and or you don't see a lot of them around, so I think people should use them more. Undead is a good race to be. They're great for warriors. They have one racial instant 2-minute cooldown ability. It's called Cannibalize. When activated, regenerates 7% of total health every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Only works on humanoid or undead corpses within 5 yards. Any movement, action, or damage taken while cannibalizing will cancel the effect. So, they also have a Will of the Forsaken. Instant 2-minute cooldown. Removes any charm and fear and sleep effect. This effect shares a 45% second cooldown with other similar effects. They also have underwater breathing, which underwater breath lasts 233% longer than normal. So, great race to be, and they're great warriors. Alright, Tauren. Tauren, a lot of people do like Tauren. They're the only class that you can use druids, so a lot of people use them for druids. They have a racial war stomp, 0.5 second cast, 2-minute cooldown, stuns up to 5 enemies within 8 yards for 2 seconds. So that's pretty cool. And then they also have endurance, base health increased by 5%. These guys start out in Mulgore on Kalimdor, and they start out at Camp Narache, so yeah. Alright, to be perfectly honest, I absolutely hate trolls. I've just never liked them, but these is an overall race for people that do like them. They have one racial instant 3-minute cooldown ability. It's called Berserking. Increases your attack and casting speed by 20% for 10 seconds. They also have Davudu Shuffle. Reduces all duration of all moving and parrying effects by 15%. Then they show a little joke thing called Trolls be flipping out, man. And then, you know, there's some other stuff. You can see that in the little spellbook and abilities when you log on. They're located in Kalimdor on Durotar, Valley of Trials, same as the Orc, and no overall race. Alright, here comes the hit when Burning Crusade came out. The Blood Elf. Blood Elves are an awesome class. Blood Elves, everybody seems to love Blood Elves, except for the people on Alliance, that hate Horde. But yeah, I love Blood Elves. Blood Elves have a racial instant 2-minute cooldown, arcane turret, silence all enemies within 8 yards for 2 seconds, and restores 6% of your mana. Non-player victim spellcasting is also interrupted for 3 seconds. They start in Sunstrider Isle, and they start in Eastern Kingdom's Eversong Woods. Yeah, so everybody loves Blood Elves, right? Yeah, great and very popular race to be.
Never sacrifice their will.